Doesn't it feel good knowing I'll be back in my seat in January? Anyway, we will rank war films to commemorate Remembrance Day, which is today or yesterday, depending on when this is uploaded.
Hey, I don't care. Kamala something. I didn't feel bad whatsoever. I feel like I've seen all these wars in person.
Let's start with 13 Hours. I kind of felt mid about the movie. Nothing great, bit of a boring movie personally.
You better rank Glory Good, Donald.
Obama's here since when?
Has been here since the damn start, but couldn't fit in words. All right, now to rank 1917. I like the film, and it's really impactful from a message standpoint. Most war movies do, but whatever. It's good.
300 rank, moving on.
You only say that because you can see titties. I mean, based, but I agree.
That's far from what I was going to say, but whatever. It is indeed an S-rank film. And now we get to the part where I put films in the haven't watched tier, because I haven't seen every war film made. Glad to see the comments talking about that tidbit later.
That just means we have more stuff to watch, Donald. No big deal.
I don't fucking care what anyone says. All Quiet on the Western Front is a masterpiece film that got a remake recently, but for the German side, and I am surprised that isn't here. That one is also a masterpiece.
The American Sniper was one of those films that got talked about so much, and it's not a bad film. I just don't really think it's that goated.
Didn't a Canadian sniper put this guy to shame? I forget.
For the movie Apocalypse Now, all I can say is I love the smell of napalm in the morning. Yeah, fucking haw!
Yeah, the war movie featuring Owen Wilson. Good movie to watch while inhaling popcorn.
Isn't it odd that a lot of war films came out when Bush was president? Quite a coinky-dink, ain't it? Such a sad film, though.
True, but other films did this kind of thing better. Is Braveheart even a war film? Sure, there's war in it, but I'll rank it. Same problem with American Sniper, where everyone and their fucking mother won't shut up about it.
Now, Dragonheart, on the other hand, is a goddamn gem no one really talks about.
The Bridge on the River Kwai is one of those films that, just like you guys with American Sniper and Braveheart, is overly talked about and shown. Good film, but I'm sick of seeing it all the time.
Can we even consider Captain America a war film? Ah, fuck it. We already ranked Braveheart. Let's just rank this one because Cap has a pistol and is fighting Nazis. Good watch, nothing too special.
This film, The Deer Hunter, is one of the most tragic films because outside of the other ones on the list, this one feels real, you know, like as if they were legit in the Vietnam War and were subjected to torment by the Viet Cong.
This film deserves to be an S rank. Fuck anyone that disagrees. Hitler's final days were captured with great effort and research. No one could have done better.
I remember when they tried making a sitcom out of Adolf Hitler. That was a really big mistake.
Dr. Strangelove is all right. Kubrick did a good job by mocking the concept of nuclear war, but I don't find it too memorable.
Dunkirk was a pretty good retelling of the events of Dunkirk itself. Nothing too bad, just a good war film. Edge of Tomorrow is one of the best films Tom Cruise has ever done, and the concept is marvelous. Regarding a time loop and finding a sequence of repeated looped events that lead to victory in the end.
Film Enemy at the Gates is a fantastic film regarding an unlikely friendship between a Russian sharpshooter and a political officer, pretty gripping and dark about the realities of war.
Full Metal Jacket is another fantastic film by Stanley Kubrick with a very strong first half of the film. The second half is kind of diluted, but I'll never forget the phrase, "Me love you long time, $5." For a movie based on American Sherman tank that went through severe hell, Fury is pretty good. Brad Pitt is kind of over the top here, but overall, it's a fun watch. Not really accurate historically, though.
Gettysburg is a movie I am heavily conflicted on. On one hand, it's great. On the other, it's way too fucking long. 4 hours and 31 minutes. You fucking serious?
Trump, you better give this movie praise.
I will, Obama. I really do like Glory and how it recognized a regiment that I don't think is covered that often. Matthew Broderick, while still punchable in this film, does a great job, and I was surprised Denzel Washington was in it with Morgan Freeman. Wonderful surprises for me. I'm not going to repeat myself. Same situation with American Sniper and Braveheart. Good watch, but I'm indifferent to it. This movie breaks me heart. It's a great film, but the reason my heart breaks for it is because nobody can replicate Robin Williams' enthusiasm when it covers such a dark time period for Americans.
Hacksaw Ridge, one of the most inspiring war films ever, where you don't need to wield a gun and kill someone to be brave. A man who earned a Purple Heart without taking a life. Inglourious Basterds is Tarantino B-movie fun for me. The ingeniousness surrounding certain aspects, like how a hand gesture can expose you as a spy, was clever.
Kelly's Heroes is always a good time for me. Oddball being the best part of the film. Rest in peace to Donald Sutherland.
Is this going to be the first potential hot take on this list? I don't hate this film outright, I just find it rather dull. Tom Cruise should have been recasted since I cannot take him seriously with that fucking mane he has.
Does anyone really remember Lawrence of Arabia? Its historical accuracy is hit and miss, but it's just not that enthralling. Mid-tier for me.
The Letter from Iwo Jima is a great film depicting both Japanese and American soldiers dealing with the battle on the island of Iwo Jima and is brilliantly directed by Clint Eastwood.
I like Mark Wahlberg as an actor, but he dropped the fucking ball. With Lone Survivor, I'm sorry, he really did.
I don't hate The Monuments Men, but to be honest, I nod off almost all the time when watching this. I like the backstory behind it, but it's not that engaging to my knowledge. Might be remembering wrong, though. Mulan is a goddamn Disney film, but I guess you can consider the Hun fighting against the Chinese as a war with this one, so in that case, S tier.
Overlord had a lot of potential, but after the actual war shit gets overshadowed by the zombie and supernatural shit, I just tune out and am basically watching a B-side zombie flick.
The Patriot is what you get when you got Mel Gibson cosplaying as a soldier from 1776. That's basically the synopsis of the film. It's a decent watch. Fuck Pearl Harbor and fuck Ben Affleck. I'm sure he's a decent guy, but come the fuck on. He should have known this was going to be bad.
The Tune is a classic schlocky war film with Sylvester Stallone as the main role. I sometimes confuse it with Rambo First Blood. Rescue Dawn is a fantastic true story of a fighter pilot being taken as a prisoner of war before the time of the Vietnam War. It's a greatly acted, depressing one and done type of film.
Every kid and parent has seen Saving Private Ryan in both school and at home so many times that the script can be spoken near verbatim. Still a great movie to me. If y'all motherfuckers don't put Schindler's List in the S-tier category, I don't even want to know who you are. Liam Neeson nailed his part.
This will be the time I don't consider a film to be a war film. Wonder Woman is less of a war film than Captain America was. Oh God, it's Starship Troopers. Well, it's definitely a film depicting war on another planet, but it's one of those films where you do not take it seriously whatsoever, or you'll hate it.
The Dirty Dozen shows up on the television half a dozen times, and it's still a great watch, albeit being dated. The Great Escape is a really great film if you're into escapist type movies. I think Call of Duty Black Ops 1 took inspiration from the motorcycle escape scene.
The Hurt Locker is a serious character study and a taut, suspenseful action thriller at once. The subject matter itself, the work of a bomb expert, possibly one of the most nerve-wracking jobs on the planet, yields most of the suspense, but it manages to squeeze out every bit of tension of the premise. The greatest fault, The Thin Red Line, was its timing. It was released at around the same time as Spielberg's Saving Private Ryan. It's easy to forget that Red was nominated for 7 Oscars. This is an extraordinary film that can stand well on its own next to Ryan.
I think I personally met Troy when I was younger, or maybe that was some random schmuck in a toga. Anyway, great film to watch to kill time. Coincidentally enough, U571 was being shown today and I didn't mind it. It is not a history war action film, although in the end they do a fast scroll of historical facts for some reason.
Valkyrie is a strong, enjoyable film. It is not Singer's best, but he can still pull it off. The way Spielberg made me care and weep over a horse's survival in World War I made me look like a little bitch, and I didn't appreciate that. Great movie, but fuck you for making me so emotional, Steven. Mel Gibson plays a colonel with a degree, allowing him to not only think like a soldier, but an academic. He understands military history and why strategies have or have not worked, and why Vietnam is as pointless as Korea was. Great film, but very sad and on the nose.
Is it weird that I feel Nicolas Cage kind of sticks out like a sore thumb here? Anyway, Wind Talkers is far from perfect, but heavily underrated for what it is, the kind of film where you think you can predict everything that's going to happen upon the first shot, and you spend the rest of the film praying that you're wrong. If I have to be honest about Zero Dark 30, I wasn't entertained, and my understanding and worldview were not expanded.
Well, we got a lot of films to watch later since holy shit, I wasn't expecting that many in the haven't watched tier. I hope you guys enjoyed this ranking video and feel free to rip us apart later.